The night of October 27th started like any other for Sarah Jenkins. A quiet evening, a cup of tea, and the comfortable hum of a house she had worked hard to make her own after her divorce. But within hours, her sanctuary would be shattered, first by a monster, then by a savior, and finally by a truth far more chilling than any home invasion. This is Latent True Crime. Subscribe to this channel now to join this and other chilling investigations. At 9:47 p.m., the silence erupted. A figure, silhouetted against the rain-streaked window, forced his way inside. He wore a grotesque, ill-fitting parody of a Batman costume, the rubber cowl glistening like oily skin in the dim light. Sarah fought back with a primal desperation, her screams swallowed by the storm. Just as the intruder pinned her down, a familiar face appeared in the doorway. Mark Jenkins, her ex-husband, burst in like a whirlwind of protective fury. He tackled the masked man, a chaotic scuffle ensuing that spilled across the living room. After a brief, violent struggle, the assailant broke free and vanished into the night. Mark, breathless and bleeding from a cut on his hand, knelt beside a sobbing Sarah. He was the hero. She was safe. When Detective Evans arrived, the scene appeared textbook. A broken window, a traumatized victim, and a courageous bystander. However, as the forensic team moved in, the perfect story began to fray at the edges. The first anomaly was the bloodstain pattern analysis, BPA. Evans noted several drops of blood near the shattered glass. If they had resulted from a frantic struggle, they should have been impact spatters, elliptical streaks sprayed across the wall. Instead, they were passive drops, perfect, heavy circles. This suggested the bleeder had been standing perfectly still, dripping blood onto the floor while staging the scene, not fighting for his life. As the week progressed, the laboratory at the forensics unit began to interrogate the physical evidence. The glass, analysts examined the jagged shards of the entry window. Using the refractive index (RI) test and an analysis of Wallner lines, microscopic stress marks, they determined the glass hadn't been struck from the outside. The force had originated from within the house. The DNA, under the jagged edge of a glass shard, specifically on the inside-facing surface, technicians found a microscopic snag of skin tissue. The DNA profile was an unequivocal match for Mark Jenkins. The fiber, a partial fingerprint, was found on a scrap of dark, synthetic polyester caught in the window frame. Not only did the print belong to Mark, but gas chromatography mass spectrometry, GCMS, linked the fibers to a partially melted Batman cowl recovered from a fire pit in Mark's backyard. While the physical evidence mounted, the digital forensic team breached Mark's laptop. They found a calculated script of obsession. His search history revealed queries for how to break tempered glass quietly and average police response times. Most damning was his phone's GPS data. He hadn't been just driving by. He had been idling in a dark alley 2 blocks away for 40 minutes, watching Sarah's house and waiting for the clock to hit his start time. Detective Evans brought Mark in under the guise of signing a witness statement. In the sterile light of the interview room, Evans laid out the photos, the passive blood drops, the inward-facing glass fractures, and the GPS map. "You didn't save her, Mark," Evans said quietly. "You scripted her terror so you could play the lead role." The hero facade crumbled. Facing the gotcha moment of a neighbor's doorbell camera showing him running toward the house in squeaky rubber boots minutes before his rescue, Mark confessed. He had been desperate to regain Sarah's affection, believing that by becoming her savior, he could force his way back into her life. The trial of the people versus Mark Jenkins focused on hero syndrome, a predatory psychological need to create a crisis to resolve it. Mark was charged with stalking in the first degree, aggravated assault, and fabricating evidence. The judge was unmoved by Mark's pleas of love, sentencing him to 12 years in state prison. For Sarah, the road to healing was paved with the realization that the truth is written in the silent, immutable language of science. She eventually transformed the room with the broken window into an art studio, a place where she, not Mark, wrote the story. In this story Mark claimed he did this out of love. But the judge called it predatory. Where do we draw the line between a protective partner and a controlling one? If you've ever seen these red flags in real life, Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Stay safe and stay anonymous if you need to. If you have found this story educative, subscribe now to Latent True Crime channel and join our analysis of more true crime stories. Thanks for watching.